Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name's Brianna. I'm 2019's co-captain of gold medal winning Team USA Women's Dodgeball, and today we're talking the top 5 traits that you see the top players in the country have. And these are the type of traits that the USA Scouts are looking for when deciding who they're going to invite to the combine. And now, if you are from another country, I can assure you that these traits will definitely apply to you. These are top traits of dodgeball players in general, not necessarily just the USA dodgeball players. Like most of the top players at Worlds, these are the type of things that they are really good at, and they're going to help you stand out amongst the crowd and potentially give yourself an invite to the combine or an invite to try out for your national team. So let's jump right into it. So trait number 1 is good sportsmanship on and off the court. And this is directly taken from USA Dodgeball's website. This is something that they strive for. They want the people who make Team USA to be a good representation of the country, to be a good representation of the organization. So they don't want players that get carded constantly at tournaments. They don't want players that slam the ball or have a reputation to yell at other teams, to yell at refs. They want good players that also have good sportsmanship. Trait number 2 is versatility, and I mean this in 2 different ways. So the first one, we break it down as being a 3-dimensional dodgeball player. So that means being able to throw well, being able to catch well, and being able to block and dodge well. And I put blocking and dodging together because they're both you just avoiding getting hit. So those are the 3 dimensions right there, and you want to be a top player at all 3. And now you can lean one way or the other, like you can lean more as a catcher, and maybe at the beginning of the game, you'll pass your ball to other players. But when it's time for you to step up, when you're like the second to last one in and you need a throw, to have that confidence in your arm. And same with throwing, like you can lean more as a thrower, but if you end up without a ball, you need to feel confident that you can dodge out of the way or you can go for that catch and make it. So with only 6 players on the court, you have to remember you only have 6. So if you have too many specialty players, you're kind of limiting what your team can do. So you really want players who can do it all and be well at doing it all. Again, you can lean one way or the other, but you still need to have confidence to be able to do that other aspect of the game. Because you also have to remember, you may be the top arm on your team, but when you're on Team USA, you might not be the top arm anymore. So you might not always have a ball in your hand. So if you're not confident without a ball in your hand, well, you're kind of a liability to the team because you aren't comfortable doing that other thing. And this kind of goes with the second term, second meaning of versatility, and that's being able to play anywhere on the court, whether you're playing corner, middle, or the other corner. So there's only really 3 positions. So again, if you're the top corner on your team, but when you are on Team USA, you're not the top corner, and so you're going to be designated to the middle until the top corners get out. Well, you need to be confident playing in the middle, because if you're only good at playing corner, well, then you're kind of a liability because they don't need you to play corner. They want these other like 3 or 4 players to play corner over you. So you need to also be comfortable and well at the middle, meaning overall you need to be a player that is confident and a threat with or without a ball, and have versatility to kind of be able to go where the team needs you. Number 3 is being a smart decision maker, and this comes down to being well versed in the mental aspect of dodgeball. So dodgeball isn't just showing up and having a strong arm and having strong catchers and just throwing people out and winning and not needing to worry about a deeper strategy. That can only get you so far. When you're playing those top teams, strategy is going to play a big factor in whether or not you win or lose, because natural talent is on their side as well. And so you can only get so far in those games. And so it's not just like the basics, like, oh, throw together, talk as a team, communicate. It's also some of those other littler things that slip by people's mind, but actually play a critical role in who ends up coming out on top in these matches. So giving up ball control or taking quick counters, like knowing when the right time to do that and when the wrong time to do that is, leaving yourself open at the line, you know, those basics, and understanding the overall game situation. Like, are you up, are you down, how much time is left on the clock, do you need to be playing fast, do you need to be playing slow, like understanding all of that and kind of knowing how to approach it, and also knowing how to adjust when you're down and it's something that isn't working out. Are you able to adjust? Are you able to understand this isn't working, we need to try something new? And yes, you'll have your coaches and your captains to help you out along the way, but it really helps you stand out if you're able to kind of decipher some of this on your own. Number 4 is being a team player, because at the end of the day, dodgeball is a team sport and you should be working with your team most of the time. Now, there's always going to be time and a moment in the game for those quick counters or those solo shots. But overall, you should be talking with your team and communicating what your game plan is in that moment. And I see a lot of times, especially well-talented players that are on not so good teams, kind of feel like they need to carry the team and they go do their thing, and it actually reflects poorly on them when the scouts are watching those games. They want to see you always working with your team. As long as there's one person on the court with you on your side, you should be working with them. Now, once you're last in, do what makes you comfortable, but until you're last in and you have help on your side, work with them. Number 5 is being able to win and play well under pressure in high pressure scenarios. So what I mean by high pressure scenarios is like an elimination game where if your team loses this next one, you're out, or you're last in versus 3 with the game on the line, or you're in sudden death and you need to win in order to tie the game. How well are you playing in those situations? I see a lot of young talent that comes in and they actually crumble under the pressure of playing against better teams than them or better players than them. And they only really shine when they're playing players that they feel they're as good as or players that are worse than them. So you really need to be able to play your best no matter the situation. And yeah, it does play a factor if you win. Like, it definitely looks better if you come out on top in that scenario, but it's not gonna hurt if you play really well and the other team just has the upper hand that day. The scouts will notice when you are playing well under pressure. So that's something that honestly, the best practice is to just you have to be in those scenarios and practice coming out on top, practice not letting the pressure get to you. But you have to remember, at the end of the day, at Worlds and past years for the women's division especially, only the top 4 teams make the medal rounds. So you have to play well in round robin in order to have a shot at a medal. And so all those games are high pressure situations. So they need players that can play well and adjust and not crumble under the pressure, because it's going to be super important at the end of the day in order to win those big games that they have everyone confident and able to play well no matter what. I actually wanted to add an honorable mention as a number 6, and because it kind of goes hand in hand with playing well under pressure, and that's playing well at no blocking or sudden death. So at Worlds, some of the most important high pressure situations are the sudden death matches at the very end of the game. They can decide who wins the game, or it can give your team an opportunity to tie it up and bring it to overtime. So you see a lot of those high pressure situations there. And if you are really good at no blocking and you can show that to the scouts and shine at no blocking, that'll really help you stand out amongst the crowd, because there's a lot of people that just don't play well at no blocking and just kind of like forget everything that they know and start playing crazy, or they accidentally block because they're so used to blocking. So if you can show you're really good at no blocking, it can really give you an edge when the scouts are picking the team. So don't forget, the next Worlds is not happening until 2022. The location and date has not been announced yet because of COVID and everything being pushed back. So you have plenty of time to work on what you need to work on to get better and give yourself a chance at trying out and potentially making your national team. So I hope you found these 5 traits helpful, plus the honorable mention, I should say 6 traits. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. It really helps get my content out there, and it helps me with the YouTube algorithm so we can get my videos in front of more people's faces and put dodgeball on the map. And if you have any other topics you'd like me to cover, drop it in the comments, and I'll see you guys next week.